One type of task available to users of CobbleStone is known as the one-off task. While one-off tasks do not carry the same functionality in CobbleStone as workflow-based tasks, they are useful for needs related to a single record. To view or create a one-off task from our desired record, let's go to our Tasks and Emails section. I like to use the side menu for navigation, but you can scroll down to that section too. In this section, we can view all tasks assigned for this record. The Add Task button at the top of this area is used to add one-off tasks. Let's click it to start adding our one-off task. When we open our Add Task record page, we can see a number of fields available to us. We'll review each of them in a moment. Let's take a look at the rest of the page before we do anything else though. As we scroll down the page, we can see a few more fields available to us. We don't absolutely need to use these fields, as we can see by their lack of red asterisks. We'll take a closer look at these fields in a little bit, though. Let's scroll back up the page and get to work. Just as we frequently see, our first field is a name field. We want to give our tasks descriptive names. Think of the name field like the subject of an email. It's short, sweet, and to the point. Since this is just a sample, we'll give it a name reflecting such. Our next step is to select the employee to whom the task is to be assigned. Let's open that field. We can review our options. For this task, I'm okay with selecting myself, so I'll leave it as it stands. Now we need to define when the task is scheduled to begin. As a one-off task, we do not determine the start and end dates based on date fields within the record, so we need to populate each. Let's select the calendar for our start date. We could opt to enter it manually if so desired. I'll go ahead and select a start date, and then we'll head over to the end date and open that calendar section as well. And I'll select the end date for the task. Next, we need to set our notify days. That is, how many days before the task's end date do we want to send an alert to the task's owner? Out of the box, this value defaults to 30. We don't need 30 days though, so we'll set it to 7 since there is a 7-day difference between the start date and end date. Our next step is to actually define the task at hand. What do we need the assigned user to do? I like to provide as much detail as necessary and not leave much to interpretation or assumption. I even like to go so far as to instruct users when to mark a task as complete, rejected, or otherwise dispositioned. Now that we've got the necessary parts taken care of, let's scroll down the page. Here, we can place any needed notes, amounts relevant to the task itself, and an optional role or group if other members of an employee group can act upon this task as well. We can also set a starting status and escalation data. We'll talk a little bit more about escalations and the other options we see here during our discussion on workflow-based tasks. For now, let's scroll down the page and commit our task record to the system by clicking Save and Continue. We're directed to the task's Details page. Here, the owner can review task information and process the task. Let's return to our parent record though, so we can see that task in the grid. When we return to our record details page, we're at the top of the page, so let's click to return to the tasks and emails area. We can now see the task we just created in the task grid, along with all other tasks, workflow-based and otherwise. The task owner can act upon the task from here if so desired, and if enabled in configuration.